Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people, and welcome back to Timberborn, Part 7 in our ongoing series. And just at the outset, this voiceover is going to be a wee bit different than what you're used to because I'm recording it after I recorded the video. Normally I record the voiceover at the same time I record the video. We'll talk about why, but our wind farm is up and running. We have 7,200 HP and 2 more windmills still to be built. And I got it built by this area over here that's now rubble. I had created a lot of extra builder's huts since we had so many free beavers, and put them to work getting that built. But I didn't want them to stick around because we are going to be adding a lot more jobs. I got to try to figure out what I was talking about with all of my waving around here. A path or something. Oh yeah, why I didn't decide to put in a path to go over the top. It wouldn't have really shortened things. On this side, we are going to get started with some things, more things in preparation for bots, namely getting biofuel going from potatoes, and you'll see all that getting built. So why is the voiceover different this time? And the easy answer to that is I don't know. And I know why I'm doing this. When I went to edit the video, the audio file of my voiceover, it was like my microphone became a different microphone. Like, I've got a decent mic. I've got the Wave 3 mic. It's USB mic, you know, and all that. But it's a good mic. It does a good job when I remember to put it in the right spot and sit close enough and, you know, not look down and, you know, all that good stuff. It does its job. But it's almost like Audition for the one video switched over to the mic built into my soundbar. That's the only other microphone connected to this computer. Even though it's disabled. Like in Windows, I have that microphone disabled. It doesn't show up, but the audio quality sounds like I was several feet away talking through just like a laptop, or I have the Creative Katana V2 soundbar for my computer for when I'm not using headphones, and it has a built-in microphone, and it's not good, and it's not supposed to be good. I mean, it could suffice if I wanted it to, but it sounds kind of like a laptop microphone. Lots of echo, kind of sounds like you're down a well, and that's what the voiceover sounded like. So yeah, I don't know. So I tried to drive through Adobe Audition to salvage it, to tune it through EQ and some other parameters that I know how to do, but it just exceeded my skill level to be able to make it salvageable. So I'm doing this instead. And so I hope you'll bear with me through this one video where I'm commentating after the fact. So what's happening now is, since we have started producing paper, I wanted to get in the beehives because they boost the growth of nearby crops by 25%, no less. So like, I think it's carrots that take 4 days. Well, with a beehive in, carrots only take 3 days. Since we are ramping up production of potatoes, they're going to go into biofuel, simply because that's the best way to make biofuel. I think you get 30 biofuel from potatoes, whereas from the other sources you get less. So potatoes is the way to go. But since we're going to be consuming a food product to make biofuel, I just wanted to ensure that we were maximizing the output of all of our food products, so that when we start taking those potatoes out of the food chain, we're not going to leave starving beavers. Like, we're good right now. And for some reason, I thought that the biofuel refinery required power. I don't know what I was thinking. I've built these things I don't know how many times. Though I've kind of gotten away from using bots a lot. I'm using them in this playthrough simply because I'm trying to make sure I showcase the majority of what is in Timberborn. Matter of fact, in the next video, I think we're even going to add a couple extra districts just to kind of demonstrate how districts have changed in the past year, because a lot of changes have come. Like a lot of changes have come in the past year to exactly how they're done. So I've set me 3 of these up for biofuel, 1 for catalyst. Bots go through far more fuel than they do on the catalyst. Catalyst lasts them for a while. I did pause the production of books simply because we need the paper. We needed the paper for windmills, and now we need it for all of those beehives that I built. So we did pause books temporarily, though soon, and I think the way we're going to end the series, which it's wrapping up soon because there's not a lot left. That's one thing about Timberborn is it doesn't have a clear end game. Like you get everything built and then what? Just manage. And if you've built everything well and you've really thought about what you're doing, there's nothing to manage. Just, you know, unless you're playing like the Iron Teeth and you have to pause the breeding pods so you don't wind up with tons of homeless beavers. But over the course of, well, not this video, but the next one, I'm actually going to decrease our population once we start getting a huge number of bots. I'm not going to go drastic and make it like an all bot society. That's not my goal. But I want to explore districts and look at them for a video or two. And then after that, we're going to focus on getting the well-being score hopefully to 60. If not 60, maybe around 55. But I think we can get it. I think we can get it 60. And just show the effects of what that means on a district. And we're going to do it a couple different ways. We're going to still have some beavers working. But what we're going to do is get bots into a lot of the more dangerous jobs that cause injury, because injuries bring down our well-being. And then we're also going to do it by having things being produced so efficiently that we can cut about 4 hours off the workday so that beavers have more time for leisure. And then the final piece of that will be adding in more leisure opportunities as a whole. So we are getting the bot factory added. I want to go ahead and get them built, though the biofuel and all of that's going to get constructed first because that's just the order of operations for this. But I am planning out where I want everything to go so that we can start producing bots sooner rather than later. So that's what's happening here is we're putting in the bot part manufacturers, and each one are part factories. Each one can produce chassis, limbs, and heads, and you need all 3 to make bots. So you either need one of these and you constantly micromanage it to make sure it's, you know, that you're making the things you need, or you just have 46 extra beavers, you know, sitting around on their heinies doing nothing, and you build 3 of them. Granted, they do require a lot of power, but we've kind of got power on lock now, so we're doing all right in that regard. And in next week's video, we're going to like permanently solve the power problem. Droughts, bad tides, no wind, all of those situations will become irrelevant to us simply because of what we're going to do in the next video. And spoilers, it took 3 hours for me to record it, though the video will be nowhere near that long. Just like this one took an hour and a half to record, and it's only just over 33 minutes long because I cut things out. Because there's no need. Once we've seen beavers build out a power network once in a time lapse, unless it's a huge project, I don't think we need to do it again. I don't know how you feel about that, but that's just kind of my thoughts on things. Doing my best to remember what I was talking about. It had to have been something to do with the potatoes and them going into different storage and all of that. It's hard to say. I thought about when I was doing this to actually have my original voiceover playing in my headset, but then I thought, no, that'll just be a distraction for me to try to narrate. Instead, I know what I did. I know what I built, and I know why I built it. Like right here, I have to go through and change the power because the bot assembler that takes the parts from the bot part factories its power connection is in the middle, kind of like when we placed the centrifuges in the last video, the video before that. They're only in the middle section of the 4 sides, and actually only 3 sides. You can't put it in the front door. And so it's very specific about where you put the power on the bot assembler. And you can kind of see now it's going to connect, but earlier that power would not have connected. And you can almost see why. It's got those rounded corners, and I guess that makes it difficult for the power to connect. You can only connect on the windows themselves and be able to get power connected to the bot assembler. So that's why we had to redo a little bit there on our power network that's going to be coming up here. Was just to ensure that everything connected. And I don't really mind that some buildings are that way. It definitely makes it a challenge sometimes when deciding what you want to do with power. But for the most part, it's easy enough to manage just because of different things wind up kind of naturally going together anyway, different types of buildings. So it all works out. I'm talking about storage of something, I don't know what it was. I don't know why I'm pointing to all that. I could probably cut this part of the video out, but if I cut out every bit where I don't remember 100% for certain what I was talking about, then it won't work. Oh, I know what it was. I went through and mentioned that we had greatly expanded storage for gears, planks, treated planks, and even for our scrap and our metal blocks. And then here I'm adding yet another gear storage just so it's closer to where the bots parts are going to be made, because gears, planks, metal blocks are the building blocks of all the bot parts. So I'm kind of out of room for a lot of them. And since they require the storage piles, I've got to go through and put my metal blocks and my planks in this area. Actually, they don't take treated planks. They just take planks to build bots. It's other things that take them. But this winds up working out just fine. I know from having gotten all the way through next video. The next video is already recorded, but ready to be edited when I'm doing this voiceover. Even though it won't go live for like a month. But it's there and it's ready. So up here, decided that probably not a bad idea to introduce just a few more plank lumber mills, lumber something that they're called, lumber mill. There we go. To get a few more of these, as well as a couple of more gear workshops, because the bot part factories do take up a lot of those resources, like a lot. And at this point, I'm just trying to like plan out how my power is going to connect and where it's going to connect. It's not ideal given my space constraints up here at the top of this hill, but we make it work for the most part to be able to get a few of each one in. And in the end, I'm happy with how it turns out. So I'd say, all's well that ends well. But we've added a couple of more of the lumber mills. We're adding 4 more gear factories, which in hindsight, that's an awful lot, Brandon. Especially considering they take the planks. But we already are exceeding our plank output. Or we have excessive plank output is kind of the way I want to phrase that. So it's not, I don't think, that big of a deal. I think we should be okay. There we go. I finally came to my senses and put in a bit more plank manufacturing through lumber mills. And that's kind of just the layout. Looking at it here, I could fit one more. I'm kind of curious if I actually go through with it, because I could get one right there on that corner and then just use a platform to try put a path over to it. Actually, I can fit 2 more there. Aha! I did realize it. I'm looking at it in retrospect. I'm like, did I realize that while recording? Did I realize I can get 2? Oh, no, I can't get 2. I can only get 1. Okay, never mind. I thought it was going to fit differently. So there we go. That's going to get more planks and more gears in production. And we've got a lot of stuff here now to build. And only 8 beavers that are builders. For some reason, we came over here to talk about things. I think I was talking about doing a secondary bot factory over here, and then talked myself out of it, simply because it's just so far removed from where everything's being produced. We are, however, going to be building some things over here across this river or stream or whatever it would be called, in the form of power storage as well as dirt excavation. We are going to get an excavator in. So because of that, I want to get a path across so the beavers can get across. But then I also want to be able to carry the power across over there as well. So I'm just looking to see where all we need stairs to get all of this accomplished and where we need platforms and paths. And then what that leaves us with for everything else. Not too terribly worried about the grid as much over here. It doesn't really matter because the district's not really going to extend much farther out this way. This is just... the dirt excavation is really about the only thing that's being produced out here. And then eventually there will be a massive monolithic wall built that will allow us to get 20 batteries to store a lot of power. And man, that video is going to be a pain to edit. It's like I said, 3 hours of footage, and I've got to get that down. So if you're wondering why there's just like a random set of stairs there, that's because the dirt excavator requires stairs. Its entrance is actually a meter higher than the ground. So you can either sink it down, I could have built it up on that little ledge to the side, or you can just build stairs up to it. Either way works. Here I'm just getting our final connections in, and oops, managed to place one just down there randomly. It happens from time to time, especially if autosave kicks in, because it'll cause a bit of input delay. But yeah, we've got tons of science points, so we may as well spin them. Dirt excavator is going to cost 200 HP, and I do wind up by the end of the next video with a second one. We go pretty big on those. And T-junction there to get everything connected nicely. And then down here on the ground, another one. It's because mainly I wasn't sure if one was going to be enough to build what I wanted to build. Getting those 2 bits of power prioritized, though, yeah, they are more important, because if they were to build the excavator first, they wouldn't be able to get back there to that T-junction. So yeah, that was definitely needed. And then just directly across from it, we're going to throw in the storage for the dirt that's going to be excavated. And then the project that we're going to use to add that dirt is going to be kind of roughly where I'm highlighting now with the mouse cursor, even though it's going to be up a little bit more towards the top of the screen. But they're going to be right there by the dirt, so when they need to come and get dirt to continue building just a huge massive wall, they will be able to. Now I'm just kind of curious of what this is. I don't remember. I do not remember what I'm about to build here. Hey, we get to find out together. Is this where I build dynamite? The dynamite production. Really? I built it way over here? I don't remember doing that. I just recorded these a couple days ago. Yeah, I really don't remember doing dynamite production way over there. It looks like I'm having second thoughts about it and trying to find a better location, because dynamite uses extract. So it looks like I'm like, yeah, this area would be better. Deprioritizing the actual bot manufacturing, simply because I don't want to start making them. I want to kind of stockpile some bot parts before I start making bots. That way, once we start making bots, we can keep making bots. That is the goal. So I'm going to once again temporarily re-employ a lot of beavers as builders by throwing in a bunch of builders huts and then setting them to high priority. I mean, we've got 49 beavers, whole different game. We've got 49 of them. So we may as well put them to work. And each one of these builder huts can hold 4. So that's what, 8 that we just built. So yeah, that's going to give us quite a few more, and take up all but what, well, now a dozen of our beavers will be remaining without jobs. So they'll get those built pretty quick because it's just logs and planks. They do have a little bit of a distance to go to get it, but it's not too bad. But what this will do is speed up everything that we're doing. For some reason, I wanted to see. Oh yeah, I was trying to see what the return rate on recovered goods were when you delete one of these. I was just kind of curious what the default was. I tend to play custom games, and I set my return rate to 100%. I don't see why it shouldn't be 100%. And our first refinery is up and running, taking potatoes and making biofuel, even though there is currently nowhere to put it. That's fine. There we go. I realized that doesn't require power, and I'm deleting what I had instructed to be built earlier because there's no need in bringing power over there. None. I have nothing on that side that is going to take power, and there's not enough room for anything over there that would require power. So yeah, I just deleted it, saved the resources and the construction time, because it's going to take them the better part of the day that we're currently on to get all those builder huts built. And then I just wanted to go through and check and see if we had some places to get some larger water storage, along with one of the really large water pumps. And I decided that right over here in the corner would be really good. The large water pump puts out a lot more water than the regular one. And of course, that gives us an opportunity to fill one of those big water storage bins. So a lot being built in this video, and they didn't quite get, they got 4 out of the 8 done. So they got about half of them done. Well, they got exactly half of them done because that's how math works. And then we jump cut to the next day where they are making a few things now, and we should, yep, we've got them all built. So we actually jump cut most of that day, and it looks like we let everything get built. So we've got all of our refineries in. And what I realized is that we're running really low on scrap metal. And so I began looking around to see where else do we have scrap metal. So we have that over there that's currently in Badwater. There's also a mine down there. But in order to get down there without sickening and killing a bunch of beavers, we got to do something with the Badwater and also build a really long path back and forth, which I just exaggerated by several times. We also have ruins over this direction, along with the underground ruins that I currently highlighted, and then some more ruins over this way, but those are all much farther away than that first area that we looked at. And then there is this, but even though it's in freshwater now, it winds up in bad water, as does this area. When the bad tide comes, this little area floods. And then of course there's a mine, but it's really far away, and mines only, even when they're fully staffed, they only produce 2 scrap metal per hour, and that's just not enough to keep up. So after exploring everything, I kind of went back to my original thought that we need to cap that bad water source so that we can safely get beavers down into that those ruins over to the side, and maybe even wind up building a mine on there just to kind of augment it. So first things first is we need to get a path to go up here to the source of the bad water so that the beavers can get back here to build it. And then we're just gonna go big for the bad water rig. It's expensive, it costs a lot of stuff to build it, but the nice thing about it is if I wanted to switch that to my bad water collection source, I could. Whereas if I just do the bad water cap, all you can do is open and close those. Whereas this one is going to permanently stop the flow of bad water out of that area. Completely 100% stopped. Which would be nice to have. I guess since we got everything built, I'm just going to turn around and delete those. Though in hindsight, probably not the smartest idea, because there are other things still to be built. In fact, I remember saying it during the video that it took them forever to build the bad water rig. Simply because I forgot, just off to the corner of the screen, and it's now off screen, I forgot that they were still building the dirt excavator and all of that, and that those are pretty resource intensive. So I wound up sitting for like 45 minutes waited. And of course, I cut that out. I don't even do it as a time lapse or anything. But we wound up waiting like 45 minutes to get everything built. And I just kind of sat there, like, playing with my phone and kind of Googling stuff and talking on Discord and all those fun things while I waited. Because what else am I going to do? It's, you know, I like getting my recording done all at once. When I can, I even record several videos at once. So they are getting some of the bot factories done. Even though we don't really need it. So I just pause it for now. I think I come back later in the video once they've got some supplies over here to be able to get all that up and running. I think I come back at the end of the video and unpause them. If not, I know for sure that I do it in the next one. So just double checking that that is really where I want to go for our scrap collection. I don't know what I'm waving my mouse around about right now. I can't recall. I really wish the voiceover wouldn't have gone bad. I still don't know why it happened. I have no idea if the mic was just experiencing problems or if, as I suspect, for some reason Adobe was able to use a device that is disabled inside of Windows itself. It shouldn't be able to, but it's what it really sounded like. So yeah, this is one thing that is new to this update and new to this build are these metal blocks back here, because when Badwater came, those trees that I was currently highlighting, you can see a lot of them died. These metal blocks are really cool, and the trees died like 2 full like blocks, not squares, but like my road blocks back. And a few are still dying, even during bad waters, because I can't get them all the way. But this contamination barrier, as it says, stops soil contamination from spreading beneath it. When they first introduced this, it stopped all fluid interaction with the soil beneath it. So even if there was fresh water, it would make it arid land over there, which that's not nice. I don't really like that, because that means any coastal stuff that you're trying to protect from bad water now also becomes unusable as fertile land. Ideally, I will fill in this area right here with some soil so that I can also get the contamination barriers over there where I currently just have levees and really get it nice and tight against bad water, preventing any of these other trees from dying out. And I was able to confirm the foresters will replant where a tree has died from bad water, but only after one of the lumberjacks has cut down that dead tree. Like, if I were to go into the plant tree option right now, it would show that pine are scheduled to be planted back there, but they can't do it till those dead ones are removed. So I either have to instruct our workers, aka the builders, to do it, or I have to just wait for the forester to do it. And I've just chosen to wait for the forester. We have plenty of logs at 3.8 thousand, so there was really no need. We don't have room to store any of these logs over here, however, because of all of our other log storage being full, despite the fact that we have room for like 3,600, and then there's several more just sitting in various buildings, a couple hundred more, in fact. But just kind of looking around, checking things out, make sure everything's running the way I would like for it to be. And yeah, we are at a deficit currently of 22 beavers. And since I've got the builder's hut marked as a low priority, we really only have the beavers from the district center right now that are working. So that's making it take even longer for this over here to get done. Though, like I said, that jump cut, it represented about 45 minutes. And yeah, I was like, yep, this had to be built. And I was being dumb and didn't realize it. But they did finally get everything over here that we needed. So that's a good thing that they got it all over there. And then once they get that finished, the bad water will stop, and quickly what's down here on the ground will just flow off the map, because you can't quite see it to the right, but it does flow off the map down there. I am not going to go ahead and put the stairs down into the bad water. I want to wait till it's completely done before I do that. Didn't realize there was a dead tree blocking the path that would have prevented that anyway. But since the bad water has stopped flowing up there, I can put some stairs in and they're able to get in there. To deal with our worker shortage, I have gone ahead and expanded out the housing for now. It's kind of short-sighted in retrospect. Because in the very next episode, I'm going to start looking for death waves when we have lots of beds open in any type of combination of 3, because 3 beavers live in each one of those lodges. And I'm going to begin deleting lodges as we have empty beds. I want to get it back down to around anywhere from 130 to 150 for our beavers, which is going to be more than enough by time we're done with all of this. Because we're going to send bots to go live in the other districts that we're going to create. I need to experiment with the auto migration tools anyway, just to see if I can't figure out if there's a way to send them only when they're needed versus just constantly sending them and then flooding the district with bots that aren't going to have anything to do. I want to have the right number of bots in our extra districts each time. So the bad water's gone, so I can put stairs in and get the scavenger flags ready to go. And then as soon as they build the stairs up there, we will have the ability to have workers there. And then I kind of thought, well, we'll go ahead and get bad water here, but it's such a long trek over to where we're processing bad water. I decided just to cut it down to 1 beaver. And it's fine. It will still function. Matter of fact, it will block the bad water even if I turn it off. The bad water will not flow out of there. But I thought, you know what? We'll let 1 beaver go out there and work. We'll quickly have available beavers because we've got 24 empty beds and 15 kits is what a baby beaver's called. I always forget that when I'm recording the video itself, but they're kits. Kit Connors? I don't know. I would adopt a whole bunch of them if they were. Sorry, but anyway, so we're getting near the end of it here. We've only got about a minute left on the actual video, and I think things are looking really good. I'm really happy with the progress that was made in there. We've got a lot more gears, a lot more planks, everything for bots pretty much in place. We've just got 1 more part assembler, and then or part factory, and then the bot assembler itself. And then once they get all of this up and over here, our shortage of scrap metal, well, it's not a shortage yet, but it will be soon, because look at that, we're down to the very, very, very end, and this is now going to be just trees, maple trees. It's a big maple grove that's just being cut down after it's planted and matured, and we're just using it for logs. But yeah, I think everything is looking really good. I think we're in really good shape to begin a really, really big project next week with a bunch of batteries and building a huge, massive wall. So thanks for hanging out with me today. I really do appreciate your time. And until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.